Focus on my face, focus on the iPhone, focus on my face, focus on the iPhone, focus on my face, focus on the iPhone. Cool. It's a little over a month now since the iPhone 13 came out, and yesterday I got the chance to hold on to two of the iPhone 13 phones. To be more specific, the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. And thanks to iStore down at Grove Mall, who let me come through and pretty much unbox and do a brief review of the phones themselves. And I have to say, they're good. I mean, there are tons of videos already about, the statistics and, all these technical things about the iPhone 13s. In this video, I don't want to dwell on all of them. I just want to share 3 main features that I think are going to be a determining factor for a lot of people. And I've broken it down into the most hyped feature, the most needed feature, and the most pro feature that they've introduced. So without wasting time, the most hyped feature, definitely cinematic mode. As you saw in the beginning of the video, cinematic mode for iPhone users, just imagine a video portrait mode. It pretty much allows you to do what in professional cinematography is called focus racking, where you can pull focus from, someone's face to another person's face or to another object. And it just gives you this cinematic look with the blur. Point to note, the blur is mostly computerized, and some of it you will be able to tell it's a little bit artificial. The most fascinating thing about cinematic mode is that you can edit your focus points after you've already recorded the video. So that's how I made the video that you watched in the very beginning. The entire time the camera was actually focused on my face, but later on I went in the Photos application and then I edited the video so that whenever I was pointing at the phone that I was holding, I would tell it to focus on the phone. And then whenever I was pointing at my face, I'll tell it to focus on my face. I would kill to have this technology in the film industry because it fixes all the post-production problems. Well, some of them, but how cool is that? You must know that it's capped at 1080p 30 frames per second, meaning you do not have cinematic mode in 4K or in higher frame rates. But I think that's actually fine. I don't think a lot of people are going to have issues with this. As a content creator and as a videographer myself, I would love to have a phone like this in my pocket. So if there's any one of you, of my viewers, who feels the urge to buy me one, please. Thank you. Moving on to what I think is the most needed feature that they've included is the ProMotion displays, which are only on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. You are getting 120 Hertz refresh rate and an adaptive display. So a 120 Hertz display can show a frame up to 120 times in a second. So when you're scrolling up, Twitter or Instagram, those are actually images that are squashed so close to each other that they're coming one after the other to create motion. So the more frames or images you have in a second, the more fluid the motion is going to be. So compared to last year's models that had 60 Hertz, this is not a groundbreaking technology in the phone industry at large, but this is a new thing on the iPhones. Everyone is on social media every day, just scrolling. You might not notice it in the first few days, but if you go back to a 60 Hertz display, you probably might notice the difference. But also, this is going to be good for people who do gaming on their phones or people who are into video editing with higher frame rates. You are definitely going to have a better experience with the ProMotion displays. So let's say you're reading an article or you're on a static page and the display doesn't actually need 120 Hertz. It can automatically go down to as low as 10 Hertz. And that's a good thing because it will save a lot of battery. And that's why these iPhones are actually power efficient when it comes to battery consumption. The most pro or professional feature that they've introduced is ProRes video. And if you do not know what ProRes is, it's okay. You are actually okay. This is most likely for people who already know what it is, but ProRes is an Apple codec for video. What it simply means is better video, more information to use when you're editing your videos in Final Cut or Premiere Pro, but it also means bigger files, which is why the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max can be bought at up to 1 terabyte of internal memory. I think it's purely because they've included ProRes. I don't think this is for everyone. I think this is mostly for people who are like me, creating content, shooting videos. You probably might even get away with shooting B-roll for your professional footage on an iPhone 13 Pro because it's that good. Personally, those are the 3 main features that I think are worth sharing about the new iPhone 13 Pro lineup. But if you haven't watched other iPhone 13 videos and you want to know what else is new, the notch is definitely smaller than last year, 20% smaller, I think. Honestly, I'm okay with the notch. I mean, you can see they've even included it in the new MacBook 4 and 16, so it might be here to stay, Of course, they've included a new chip, an A15 Bionic, which is gonna be slightly more powerful than last year's A14, but honestly, I don't think a lot of people are gonna see the difference. These chips are already too powerful for these iPhones and what people actually use them for. But it's good that they keep on upgrading and making things better. For the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max, the back cameras, the wide is still a 26mm, but now it's an f1.5 compared to the f1.6 from last year. So it's gonna be letting in a little bit extra light, so expect better pictures. The ultra wide is now f1.8 compared to f2.4 from last year, so definitely expect way better pictures. As for the telephoto, it's now at 77mm compared to the 52mm from last year, which is I think an equivalent of X3 optical zoom, and it's fantastic. But you can now take macro shots on the iPhone 13 Pro, and I must say they're really good. They look really nice. There is no option to switch to macro, yet it's an automatic thing, so you have to bring the phone close to whatever you want to take, and then it will automatically switch to macro mode. Overall, the cameras are going to be slightly better than last year because they've actually made the sensors bigger as well, and they've introduced sensor shift, which means on your videos you're going to experience better stabilization because now the sensor actually shifts as you move around and record your video. So those are some of the new features. I mean, there are more of course, but in this video I just wanted to share those few. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below, and even subscribe if you haven't. I mean, apart from that, my name is Z, and until next time.